Live from WTOC, the Southeast news leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Well, we'd like to thank you all for joining us here for the news on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. We begin with this. Chatham County Sheriff Richard Coleman took to Facebook last night to identify a suspect he says was involved in a violent assault at a gas station in Pooler.
Marjorie Williams, allegedly responsible for orchestrating this beatdown in the parking lot. We have active warrants for his arrest. Montreal, I'm going to find you and get you off the streets of Chatham County. I told you it don't take me long, brother. It doesn't take me long. I'm telling you, I'm coming for you.
Now, the sheriff now has arrest warrants for 34-year-old Montreal Williams of Savannah. Coleman warns him to turn himself in or he will go live on Facebook in front of his house. It's unknown when the incident took place, but the sheriff's office continues to investigate. Authorities warn the public not to approach Williams as he should be considered potentially dangerous. Well, a former Sea Island Sprouts employee named Brandon Baker was recently arrested. Port Royal police said they were made aware of the investigation into the former preschool employee on the morning of his arrest. They said they did not receive any allegations about Baker before that arrest, but plan to take the investigation seriously. In a post on social media, the police department said, quote, that they take any allegation involving harm to a child very seriously and encourage anyone with information or concerns to report them promptly. Since Baker's arrest, Port Royal police said they got one report of suspicious actions that they are investigating. The investigation is being led by the South Carolina Attorney General's office. Port Royal police say all questions about the arrest and investigations should be directed to the AG. Well, the future of disgraced lawyer Alec Murdaugh is in the hands of 5 state Supreme Court justices in South Carolina deciding whether or not he should get another trial. A big focus of arguments yesterday revolved around former Colton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill. Murdaugh's team says she tampered with the jury, telling jurors to watch his body language and not to be fooled. The state prosecutor says her improper actions were not enough to overcome the evidence and didn't affect the outcome. His team says the judge did not take into consideration one juror's testimony that Hill's remarks influenced them, which should be credible.
I think that jury tampering by the court is something they were engaged in. They asked very pointed questions of Creighton Waters. I feel that they're very interested in that.
When we look at this particular case, what we are talking about is what Justice Toll described as a few fleeting comments.
Now, it's not clear when a decision will be made. They will look at these arguments, trial records, and other documents in the case. While staying in South Carolina, we've got some pretty big political news out of the Palmetto State. Governor Henry McMaster is endorsing the current Lieutenant Governor, Pamela Yvette, as his replacement. She is one of 5 candidates running for governor on the Republican ticket. McMaster says Yvette has become his partner in making South Carolina, quote, the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Other Republican candidates planning to run include Attorney General Alan Wilson, Congressman Ralph Norman, Congresswoman Nancy Mace, and State Senator Josh Kimbrell. The Republican primary in South Carolina is scheduled for June. Turning now to continuing coverage, local police in Arizona say they've received 18,000 calls since the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie disappeared. The search to find 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie is intensifying, with investigators seen searching roadways by foot yesterday. This is all as there are reports of this alleged ransom note we've been talking about. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
FBI search teams were seen walking roadways around Tucson and the Catalina foothills, scouring for clues in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. A source close to the investigation confirms to CBS News 2 black gloves were recovered from the search and sent for DNA testing. The New York Post reports that authorities had found a black glove near the crime scene that's similar to ones worn by the masked individual in security camera images from the night the 84-year-old disappeared.
There are a wealth, a cascade, like a waterfall of leads that come directly from that video.
Retired FBI Special Agent Lance Lysing says the video images could be the key to helping investigators break the case.
We're going to hope that a family member, a friend, somebody who knows that person is going to report them. That's the tip you need.
The Pima County Sheriff's Department says thousands of new tips have been received since the footage was released. A neighbor says authorities also questioned her about her home surveillance cameras, particularly from the night Guthrie disappeared.
They did ask specifically for the 31st of January and the morning of the 1st of February. And then they wanted to know if we saw anything suspicious on our cameras.
Meanwhile, TMZ says it received another unverified ransom note Wednesday related to the case, though this time the sender is someone claiming to offer information on an alleged kidnapper. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, back here in the Peach State, a new school safety proposal in Georgia is calling for drones to respond to active shooter situations. Supporters say they could be on the scene in seconds, even before police. However, critics worry about privacy and cost, as State House reporter Abby Kasoris explains.
It sounded like a swarm buzzing over Liberty Plaza as Georgia lawmakers watch from below. Texas company says this drone could respond to an active shooter in seconds, reach a threat in 15, and stop it in under a minute.
Seeing is believing, right?
The company is called Campus Guardian Angel. Students watching today say it's hard not to think about the reality because lockdown drills and school violence are already a part of growing up.
It's definitely something that me and my classmates talk about sometimes.
For State Representative Holt Persinger, this isn't a what if. He represents Barrow County, where Appalachian High School has already lived through the nightmare. Persinger says school resource officers acted fast, but schools need every layer they can get.
Anything we can do to add another layer of safety to make sure that our kids and our staff are safe.
The company says drones would be stored inside schools in charging boxes, ready to launch instantly if someone hits a panic button. Now lawmakers are looking at the price tag. Georgia's draft budget includes $550,000 for a pilot program for 4 high schools, spread out between rural Georgia and metro Atlanta.
Our service, we cost less than the Netflix to protect your child with an elite Air Force.
A guardian angel or a risky experiment. Either way, today's demo showed the urgency at the Capitol. Georgia lawmakers are searching for something that works before the next emergency happens.
Abby Kasoris, Atlanta News First.
Staying in state news, a bill advancing under the Gold Dome could significantly change high school sports across the state. It would allow student athletes to earn money from their name, image, and likeness, or NIL. Georgia High School NIL Protections Act passed unanimously in the Georgia House yesterday. That bill is now heading to the state Senate. Back here on the coast, this is happening today. Savannah-Chatham County Public School System is looking for the community for big ideas to strengthen its operations. The district wants to hear from you about its 5-year strategic plan to guide priorities, programs, and investments. They want to know from you about what they should protect and what needs to change to better serve students and families. They say it's a chance to challenge the status quo and help shape a bold vision for the future of Savannah schools. That meeting is taking place today at 6 p.m. at Jenkins High School. All right, this is something we've talked a lot about on here on WTOC Plus for months now. The nation has been following a group of Buddhist monks on their cross-country walk for peace. They started in Texas, made their way through Georgia and South Carolina, and this week, just a couple days ago, they made it to the end of their journey with a final stop in our nation's capital. WTOC Washington correspondent Stephen Goen has the story.
With each step taken in the shadow of the Capitol building,
I've been following them since the beginning, and somehow they moved my heart.
This group of Buddhist monks robed in orange, sending a message of peace.
Thank you! In this space and time that we're in, peace is important, and peace is what I want to embrace coming here to see them in person.
Back in October, they started this walk in Texas, trekking across the country on foot in the winter cold. 2,300 miles later, they made it to Washington, D.C.
Who have traveled so far to be with us.
On Tuesday, visiting the National Cathedral.
You can see all religions leaders here together for the same mission, peace.
Then on Wednesday, inspiring this crowd on Capitol Hill.
It was amazing. I think it really gives me some hope that even in challenging times, that when people come together, we can make change and we can make things happen.
The monks also briefly met with lawmakers, their message now reaching Congress. Representative Grace Meng of New York represents the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus.
Right now, there is so much turmoil going on in our country, and we truly wanted, on behalf of the American people, to demonstrate a message of peace and kindness and unity.
A message of peace, kindness, and unity on display for the nation to see. In Washington, I'm Stephen Gowen.
Well, Visit Savannah is marking a major milestone, celebrating 50 years of putting the city on the map as a world-class destination. The Savannah Convention and Visitors Bureau had one goal way back in 1976 to share Savannah's story and grow the visitor economy, and now it's a powerhouse, driving $4.1 billion in direct tourism spending each year, supporting more than 28,000 local jobs across Chatham County. All are invited to attend and capture the special celebration at 9:30 tomorrow morning at the Visit Savannah offices inside the Savannah Area Chamber of Commerce. And finally, here on WTOC Plus, this is a fun one. Valentine's Day, it's just 2 days away. Love is in the air for some of us. Others might be experiencing some sadness or even rage at the thought of a recent breakup. Well, Joshua Skinner with our sister station needed to get something off of his chest and found a rage room.
Sometimes it's just one of those days when you want to break stuff.
A little different, yes.
Dion Holmes has run Total Rage ATL in Powder Springs for the past 3 years.
Business has been bonkers.
And this time of year, it gets even busier. Because not everyone is in love with Valentine's Day.
You're laughing.
Dion has seen it all.
A group of men who were just aggravated with relationships.
And women.
They got told that they couldn't beat the ex's F-250s.
In here, you can get those Valentine's frustrations out. My love life is great, by the way. I just needed B-roll. And maybe to vent against my editors.
Stop! Staging my skills.
Less Hallmark, more Limp Bizkit.
Rage is more of a form of expression.
It's safe to go crazy here. And despite being a physical embodiment of a Taylor Swift breakup song, on the flip side, it can also be a cool Valentine's date.
Sharing love together, and they're expressing themselves in their own way.
Love it or love hating it, you only have to deal with Valentine's Day for a few more days. Or not.
You do what you like, safely.
In a fit of rage, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
Oh, yeah, that looks really fun. Joshua Skinner's always having a good time. I think that could be a good potential date. I always try to find unique date spots when I am seeing someone. Not right now. But, I try to do weird things, cold plunges, stuff like that on dates. And I think a rage room would be pretty fitting. So, yeah, not a bad idea if you're still looking for a last-minute date idea before Valentine's Day on Saturday. All right. With that, we're going to wrap things up here this morning for the news on WTOC Plus. Thanks for spending part of your morning with us. We'll be back in about 45 minutes for another round of stories at the top of the hour. In the meantime, you can always check out our website for the latest updates at WTOC.com. Thanks for watching, and here's Local News Live.